He
Don't
said
worry
easy
about what he
work, easy
said.
money. Do you
Don't worry
agree?
about what. There's no easy fight. There's no easy fight.
Why is he saying this? Why is he saying this? He said easy money.
He believes in me.
Yeah,
He
that's
believes
right.
in me.
I like that. I
Have
like
you ever seen like someone on X Factor that can't sing but their parents believe in them?
I'm going in there, I can fight free. If he starts getting touched up and losing rounds, I think the cookie will crumble.
Do you agree?
Whatever he said, we'll see if the cookie crumbles. I don't know what to say. I'm confident in myself. Like, I'm not focusing on him. I just know what I can do, and I can't wait to show it. I'm not gonna crumble. I'm solid. I've been through wars.
This is what I'm gonna say. I don't want to focus on it being like about Jake. Oh, Jake's small, so that makes me confident. Jake's this, so that makes me confident. I'm just focused on myself. I'm confident in myself. Jake could be 10 foot. I'm confident in myself. That's what I'm saying. It's not about how he is. I just really like. I've got a good team. I've been through ups and downs. I've stood the test of time. I'm passionate. I'm hungry, and I'm still here ready to fight my heart out. So I'm confident in that.
The room went quiet the moment Anthony Joshua spoke. No trash talk, no theatrics, just a calm, controlled warning that cut deeper than any insult. Joshua made it clear, this isn't a celebrity exhibition. This isn't a viral stunt. This is a former unified heavyweight champion stepping into the ring with years of elite warfare behind him. And if Jake Paul thinks fame changes physics, this fight is about to correct that illusion fast. This was only the beginning.
It's not just the punches you see, it's the feinting, it's the distance, it's the, oh my God, I threw that jab. Yeah, the intangibles. It's going to be really interesting to see how he deals with the intangibles in that.
Yeah.
And that's why I said there's a few things that I'm going to do in the ring that he might not have seen before, and I'm going to see how he deals with them.
Yeah.
Always have a lot to say, but both of us have some of the biggest knockouts of the past years in boxing, and we're coming to fight. We made it smaller gloves just now today, so someone's getting put to sleep.
Joshua didn't sound angry. That was the unsettling part. He explained that confidence forged in world title camps, championship pressure, and hostile arenas can't be downloaded or imitated. You don't fake instincts built under fire. You earn them, round by round, scar by scar. And no matter how bright the cameras shine, the ring has a way of exposing who actually belongs there. Stay with me, because what comes next changes how this fight looks entirely.
I align myself with some of the greatest coaches and greatest fighters in the world because I have that hunger, that desire. Every time I've been knocked down or been in trouble when I was younger, came back 3 years later, got to the Olympics. Get in trouble again before the Olympics, 3 years later, become world champion after 16 fights. Win all the belts, get beat by Ruiz, come back and unify the division for the second time. It's just constantly drives my focus and my hunger to get better. So I'm going to be a tough man to break down 100% come December 19th because I've been building myself over the last year. I ain't been sitting back. I've been working.
Behind closed doors, Joshua's preparation tells a very different story than the hype online. No gimmicks, no shortcuts, just fundamentals sharpened to a blade, tighter combinations, disciplined footwork, and weeks spent with top-tier trainers, eliminating any room for surprise. From Joshua's perspective, this bout isn't about Jake Paul at all. It's about drawing a hard, unmistakable line between a developing crossover boxer and a fully formed heavyweight professional. And he believes the performance will make that gap painfully obvious.
I don't think it's necessarily fair to AJ. I just know that I have the power and the timing. It's the shots that you don't see coming that knock people out. And I'm a tricky knockout artist that people don't give me enough credit for. I've won knockout of the year. So he has to be careful. And I do have the timing, the speed, and the tricks up my sleeve to be able to hit a shot on this guy that he doesn't see coming that can put him to sleep 1,000%.
Then came Conor McGregor, never one to soften the truth. Speaking bluntly, McGregor admitted Jake Paul deserves respect simply for walking toward danger on this scale. But respect doesn't erase reality. Boxing is ruthless, and stepping in with a physically dominant heavyweight like Anthony Joshua isn't just risky, it's unforgiving. This isn't Netflix drama. This is real impact, real damage, and consequences that don't fade when the cameras shut off.
He's gonna get knocked out by AJ though, isn't he?
If he makes that walk, I've got to give him his respect for that. It's very dangerous, you know. It seems like Netflix are all over him. It's a dangerous sport, and you can't overlook that. Joshua's a big boy and a powerhouse. I've sat ringside and watched Joshua. That's a heavy punching man, and he's you think he's a happy and he's a good kid. He has an anger in him. He has a darkness in him, does Anthony Joshua. I don't think a lot of people suss that. So, the fight shouldn't go ahead. My opinion, the fight shouldn't go ahead. If he does it, I'll give him the...
McGregor described Joshua as something far more dangerous than fans remember. A powerhouse with heavy hands and a darker, aggressive edge that only real fighters recognize once it's too late. When Joshua is locked in, very few men survive the storm. McGregor openly questioned whether this fight should even be allowed to happen, given the potential damage involved. Still, if Jake Paul insists on making that walk, McGregor says the courage alone deserves acknowledgement, even if the outcome feels brutally predictable. And that's where the tension truly begins.
I don't want to ask you about a prediction for Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua because I think a lot of people know what will happen, but is it dangerous for Jake Paul to be taking on a big heavyweight? You're a heavyweight, man. I wouldn't want to get punched by you here. Is it very dangerous for Jake Paul to be taken on?
I mean, no matter what it is, it can be an exhibition fight or whatever fight it is. When two guys step over that rope and they got bad intentions or they ready to throw blows, it's always bad. You got to understand that boxing is a dangerous business and the head is not meant to be hit in the first place. Doctors will always tell you the head is not meant to be hit. The body is not meant to be hit. The head is not meant to be, the brain is not meant to be shook.
That same unease echoed through the boxing world when veteran journalist Gareth A. Davies weighed in from Dubai. Despite the global promotion and spectacle, he admitted many insiders still struggle to believe this matchup is real, right up until fight week, when both men stand under the lights. Davies respects Jake Paul's willingness to test himself, but he stresses an unavoidable truth. Spectacle doesn't neutralize danger, and this fight carries plenty of it.
It would have been a tick in the box and signing the contract straight away. Readily, you cannot see a victory for Jake Paul. I mean, you can't. I do worry about his safety in there. I do know that it wouldn't have been licensed in the UK. Even today, people are throwing conjecture on the fact that Jake Paul hurt his eye. He said it was Lawrence Okoli punched him in sparring and that the fight is off. People are almost looking for a reason for it to be off. I've been there myself in the last couple of weeks as well. I mean, I cannot believe, until I see them in fight week and until we witness it, I won't believe it's truly happening, if I'm honest.
Davies pointed out something even more alarming. A matchup like this would never be sanctioned in stricter boxing jurisdictions like the UK. Pairing a novice with a former unified heavyweight champion simply doesn't happen. He noted that even promoters appear to be searching for exit ramps, pointing to rumors surrounding Jake Paul's recent eye injury during sparring. Because beneath the hype, this isn't a circus act. The heavyweight division remains boxing's most dangerous territory, where every punch carries the same consequence, regardless of popularity or platform. But when the real footage surfaced, everything changed.
And as I spoke with Nikisa Badarin and Jake Paul at the press conference in Miami a couple of weeks back, if Jake Paul does do it, it'll be the biggest upset in the history of boxing. The biggest shock ever. Maybe one of the biggest upsets in the whole of sport. Some people will question whether this really is sport. You know, you can deem it to be circus, you can deem it to be freak show. Spoke to David Hay for an interview in the Telegraph that's going in tomorrow, I think. And he was saying, you know, if he'd been offered this all those years ago and he was in the same position as Anthony Joshua, he said, I wouldn't have even thought about it. I wouldn't have even given it any consideration. It would have been a tick in the box.
Davies emphasized that the pressure rests entirely on Anthony Joshua. If the fight drags on, critics will question his mentality. But if something goes horribly wrong, boxing itself will be forced to answer for why this contest ever entered a sanctioned ring. As debate intensified, analyst Wade Plemons took the concern deeper, inside Jake Paul's training camp, and the signs weren't reassuring. Jake appeared with a visible black eye from recent heavyweight sparring, particularly against Lawrence Aioli, a much larger, more experienced fighter whose jab and left hook closely resemble the exact weapons Joshua brings.
Like Lawrence Aioli, and especially if it's your right eye. If Jake's getting hit in his right eye, that usually would mean that he's getting jabbed, because that jab in orthodox would come out from the left hand on the right eye side constantly, or got jabbed big time with a one big shot, or, and this may be even more of a bad thing for Jake Paul, he's gotten hit with a hard left hook, one that he didn't see because it was right on his eye. And it looks like it landed pretty flush, as you can kind of see here. Question is, which one of those two things is happening? And question is, how is it going down? Because what we know about Anthony Joshua is that he has a nasty lead.
Plemons explained that while training with imposing heavyweights is meant to prepare Jake for size and pressure, the visible damage tells a different story. It suggests he's struggling to avoid shots he will absolutely face on fight night. At this level, one clean punch, even in sparring, reveals everything about timing, defense, and vulnerability. And under brighter lights, smaller gloves, and real consequences, every mistake becomes amplified. Meanwhile, footage of Joshua tells the opposite story, laser-focused already on weight, relentless in training. Jake's attempt to spin the size gap as an advantage is met with skepticism, as Joshua's reach, strength, and ring maturity threaten to push him into territory he's never truly experienced.
This is the worst I've seen Jake look after sparring or at any time during his camps, and maybe there's been times where he's not on camera, but you can tell the levels are higher and the risk is higher and the danger is higher this time around because of how his eye looks. He's probably getting hit harder, getting up worse in sparring than he ever has. Now, he has said that the heavyweights he's sparring, it's actually easier for him and he's not getting hit as much, but that black eye is not the same indication as to what he's saying. So either he's embellishing a bit and this is harder than he thought, or harder than in anything else he's ever done as far as the sparring, the training for this match, or he got caught with something big and that's the only big shot.
So now, the picture is complete. World champions, seasoned analysts, MMA veterans, and journalists who've witnessed every possible outcome in combat sports are all circling the same conclusion. This fight is historic, but it's also a high-stakes gamble. Anthony Joshua enters with real heavyweight danger, years of elite conditioning, and a mindset sharpened by championship pressure. Jake Paul steps in fueled by ambition, confidence, and a willingness to risk everything for legacy. But tension isn't just about who wins. It's about what happens if things go wrong. Because once that bell rings, hype disappears, excuses vanish, and only reality remains. And in the heavyweight division, reality doesn't whisper, it crashes. This is the moment everything has been building toward.
Jake Paul could get seriously hurt in there, couldn't he?
Yeah, look, Anthony Joshua is one of the biggest, strongest heavyweights out there. I've sparred a few heavyweights who come down the gym. One was being a guy called the War Chief. He was massive. He looked like John Coffey from Green Island. No, he didn't punch me around, but every time he hit me, even when he hit me forward, I just felt like this thunder hit me, and I was like, and that's why we have weight classes. That's why you have your lightweight, your welterweight, and from that we can all go up and down a little bit, but we can't make jumps like that. It's just not. I don't know. I don't know what to say. Jake could get fucking killed in there.
And that's why the boxing world can't look away. Maybe Jake Paul defies expectations and shocks everyone watching. Or maybe the experiment ends the instant a true heavyweight connects clean. Either outcome leaves a mark, not just on the fighters, but on the sport itself. This bout could redefine what crossover boxing becomes, or serve as a warning about how dangerous spectacle can be when it meets real power. One punch could change everything. One mistake could end the conversation entirely. Now it's your call. Does Jake Paul survive a single clean shot from Anthony Joshua? Or does reality arrive fast and unforgiving? Drop your take in the comments And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the Breakfast, because this story is far from over.